welcome to Happy Naked, the podcast, and also the vlog. Today, so I'm your host. Let me introduce myself first. I am your host, and I am here today because I want to share another interesting taboo conversation. And if you haven't followed me yet on social media, please go to Instagram and you can find me under D Mago Happy Naked. And you can also go to Facebook and you can find me under Happy Naked, D Mago Happy Naked, or you can go to my fitness page, which is called Naked Fit, and then you will find me under 100% Health and Fitness. That's me. So welcome. And another taboo conversation today. So I'm having all my notes here because I don't want to miss anything. And what I want to share is what are the things that I learned from being in, having the experience of being in different intimate lifestyles. And you know, it's probably not totally what you think, because definitely there's so many learning on that, and that is one of the things that allow me to have the relationship that I have today. And what it means is what that means is there are two specific areas that I want to share with you. And one of the lessons is clear communication. But clear communication comes in different ways. And what it is, for example, boundaries. I come from a family that boundaries have been something that we always were very, very clear about. It was like, you in order to have boundaries, you need to know what you want. And once you know what you want, it is pretty easy to set the boundaries. And where I come from, not necessarily my nationality, but I mean the way how I was raised, it was very, very clear for us to share and to set boundaries. If there is something that we find that is not right, we're like, hold on, stop, that's not right. You're crossing my boundary and you're not going to cross that line. However, coming from a Latin culture, at the same time, there are no boundaries, because when it comes to family, there is no space, there's no boundaries, there's no privacy, there is none of that stuff. So there's a little bit of both when it comes to where I come from. However, when for families not having boundaries and all that kind of stuff, it is basically because we come from a very, very close family circle. And when I mean family circle, close family circle, I do not mean that it's just my mom, my dad, and my siblings. It is close when it comes to tight, to it goes with my extended family, my cousins, my uncles, my grandma, my great grandma, all those kind of things. That when it comes to that, there are very little boundaries, and it was very, very hard for me to set up boundaries with my family when it comes to that. So those are the things. When it comes to boundaries, I think the most important thing is that you need to know what you want. Once you know what you want, it is pretty clear that you can set your boundaries. When it comes to family, that is a whole different thing. But again, when you learn what you want, you can easily set boundaries. So that's one of the things that are part of clear communication. And I will put all this together for you once I finish with the other things. The other aspect I learned about clear communication, it is the yes or no. And this is all the things I learned from experiencing different lifestyles. So having a clear yes or a clear no. When you know what you want, when you have your boundaries, when you know your limits, it is pretty easy to say yes or no to something that is coming your way. Meaning, and I will go to lifestyles, for example, when it comes to being with, let's say, a threesome, or with more than three people, for example, in an intimate interaction. If something doesn't feel right and you're like in a maybe, that is a no, period. It has to be no. If it's a maybe, it's a no. And if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. So it has to be clear. And the reason why I'm giving the example of being in threesomes or orgies or swinger clubs and stuff like that is because you need to be very clear. If you're not very clear with your yes or your no, you're not going to have a good experience. How can you translate that to life? It is very simple. It is the same thing. When you do something, when you say yes to something and in your heart it was no, most likely later on you're going to regret that you say yes. And if you say yes knowing that you're going to regret it, then you just, like basically take responsibility for the outcome. That's all. So those are the things that's the second one. Boundaries, have a clear yes and a clear no. Maybe it's a no. If it's not a hell yes, it's no. Basically, that's what it comes down to. There is another thing that I also learned from the different lifestyles, and it is listen without thinking on a response. So listening, taking the time, relax, open all your senses, pay attention to what the other person is telling you. And also, when you are in an environment when everybody's naked, all the like endorphins and all the excitement, it's there. Sometimes you're so in the zone that it's really hard to listen. And that's when you have a very clear and open communication with your partner. If you're having these experiences with a partner, it is because you probably you will have words or things that you can say, if I'm doing this or if I'm saying this, I don't feel fine. And it's about being also able to listen to your partner, and sometimes even listening to the other people that you're interacting with, because there are things that you might be doing that the other person doesn't like. And if the other person does not know how to use their words, body language is key. And that's part of listening, being attentive to what is happening, that which allowed you also to be able to enjoy the moment even more. So I hope you get where I'm heading with this whole thing. So boundaries, clear yes, clear no, maybe it's no, hell yes. That's basically the only way to do something that you want. And listening is key in this journey. So when it comes to clear communication, those are the things that I learned through the years of being with having these different experiences in different lifestyles. And there is another thing that is really, really important. And you can have your boundaries, you can have your clear yes or your clear no. You're listening, you're paying attention to what's happening, you're in the moment, you're also enjoying what is happening in your environment and with the experience that you're having. And there is also another important thing, that you want to know that you are allowed to change your mind. If you say yes to something, you can say no after, and you say, this doesn't feel right, I'm changing my mind, I'm out of the game. So you are allowed to change your mind, and that applies to everything in life. And normally with my kids, because I have been sharing all these things with my kids as well, and sometimes they're like, I tell them, this is what I'm saying right now, this is how I feel. However, I also have the freedom to change my mind if I think there is something that changed in the environment or the situation that I think it is important to change my mind. So those are the things when it comes to open communication or clear communication. Those are my, I would say my top three, and having the right to change your mind is a bonus for you. There is another aspect when it's about the things that I learned being in this different lifestyles. It is to ask questions. Let's say you are going to have a threesome and you don't want to ask questions because it feels awkward. For example, have you ever done an STD test? What are the results? And did you ever got any STD and it got, resolved, or you took the medication to clear that? Those are weird and awkward questions that you must ask. So when you ask those kind of questions, that what allows you is to open up, and that you can ask any question. After you ask those kind of difficult questions, you can ask anything. And there's no judgment. It is open. You're allowing the other person to give you an honest answer. And that's really, really, really important. For another thing is when it comes to boundaries, for example, and I'm giving you all these examples because they're quite radical, but they are actually very, very good. When you learn the rules and you start applying that in every area of your life, that's magic. That is going to change your life. Another thing is when it comes to boundaries or rules, it is, for example, condoms. You say, I'm not going to have intercourse if you're not wearing condoms. And I will speak on as from my end because that was a very, very strong boundary for me. There is no way that individual is going to get close to me if it's not wearing condoms. It's as simple as that. Do you know condom? You're not getting closer to me. And that was a very clear boundary. And I make sure that that was part of my, when I was expressing myself. Because there's no way I would do anything without wearing condom. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you because after having more than several experiences in life in the last 5 years, I learned that being part of these different experiences on lifestyle really, really allowed me to be better at communication. I'm not saying that I'm the best yet, however, allowed me to be way, way better and allowed me to put on the table all my things, my thoughts, my emotions, that allow the other person to understand where I'm coming from and where I am at. So please, I hope you enjoy this. Put your comments below. Tell me there's no judgment. If you feel there is something that is very, very intimate, feel free to send me an email or contact me through social media and send me a private message if there's something that you find that you want to get out of your chest and something like I share with you today resonate with you. Then please share with me, put in the comments below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram, it is dmago_happy_naked, or you maybe search dmago happy naked, and here I am. You can find me on Facebook under Happy Naked. You can find my page. You can also find my fitness page under Naked Fit, and it is all about all the work that I do. It is very, very holistic. It's a system that I created where I'm providing a lot of help and support, not only to improve your physical body, but also your emotions. I'm bringing more and more on board all the energy work, the sound healing, and all that kind of stuff to make sure that you have a very, very awesome result when you work with me. You want to get more information about it, so check my page, my website. It is nakedfit.online/home, and you can see briefly, and you can book an appointment with me, a 30-minute complimentary session with me. We can have a more deep conversation. So let's have that conversation. The new year, it is going to be quite interesting. So we'll see how it goes. So it is a time that we focus on your health, your wellness, your fitness, removing and clearing all that emotional blockage that you have, and for any reason you haven't been able to move forward and move away from. So don't forget, follow me on Instagram, go to my landing page, nakedfit.online/home. You can find more details around that. And thank you very much. Put your comments below. Tell me where you're watching me from. Give me what is the highlight of this conversation today. And thank you very much.